Hey guys, welcome back. Today we are doing a prom hair and makeup look on this high school girl, and we actually don't know exactly what we're doing with the hair yet, but we are going to do a natural to natural glam makeup look. I'm going to be taking you behind the scenes and showing you each step to get this look. I start with the Tatcha Dewy Skin Cream. It is the purple one, if you know what I'm talking about. I am applying this all over her face, just really letting that soak in, giving us a really pretty, soft, hydrated foundation to work on. I am adding a little bit more here because she's just a little bit dry. So just making sure her whole face is covered with that Tatcha Dewy Skin Cream. Next, we are going to start on her eyes. I'm using a Fenty concealer as my eyeshadow primer slash base. I put this all over her lids so that way we can really get some depth from light to dark when we start putting shadow on top. I'm just blending this all the way up from her lash line up to her eyebrows and then using the leftover concealer just because no makeup goes to waste around here, and just adding a little concealer in some other areas that I know need it. Though she does have perfect skin, there are just a few places we can cover or highlight. Now I am still blending with concealer. Going in with a natural skin tone color foundation powder, actually, I'm going to cover the entire lid with that light skin tone color to create a soft, movable base. And now you see I'm going in with tiny little tap motions and tiny little circles with my first eyeshadow color on the outside corners of her eyes. I'm doing little circles and windshield wiper motions and going to blend this color in from the outer corner to about the middle of her eye lid. It's not going to go too far in because that will take that light to dark depth away, which is what everyone typically wants. They like that little bit of depth on the eyes, something different than their norm. Now I'm going in with my shimmer shades. I dipped into the Dior Glow Face palette and the Makeup by Mario palette to get that really beautiful shimmer. It's like a champagne-y color. It's very beautiful and the perfect amount of sparkle without being chunky glitter. I just do some little taps, some little swipes just to get it as much or as little as I want on the lid. I do remember I did cover her lid with some shimmer, but it's very light, just like a pop. I am just blending everything out on both eyelids just to make sure that it's very, very seamless and that there's no harsh lines or no shimmer, to shimmer. We just want to keep it very light and glowy and natural glam, not harsh or glam glam. All right, now we go in with a shadow liner. I do this to kind of give me a base, whether or not I'm going to go back over it with a gel liner. I like to have this. It's a little bit more friendly if you're not ready to fully commit to the liner yet. And this will just give me a nice, pretty, darker lash line to hide fake lashes later. Now I'm going right in with our concealer. Just gonna conceal very lightly under her eyes. She doesn't need much at all. I'm going to chisel her jawline by adding some concealer under where I'll put the bronzer and above her jawline. So this is give her a little bit more depth on her face. And then back up and kind of cleaning up my makeup under the fallout under the eyes with this concealer, along with creating that look that's going to make her eyes look like they're drawn up. And this just like lifts everything. I use my Mario dupe brushes to blend out the concealer just to soften it up a little bit. She, like I said, has amazing skin, like many high school seniors do, and I don't need much product to just cover those very few blemishes that she has. I'm just doing those light taps and light swipes, and then I go back over with that Mario brush and just kind of tap and pull to blend that concealer in and just soak it in, pick up as much product as I can because she has such great skin. I can just do everything very lightly and it's going to be very forgiving. Going in with my Giorgio Armani Luminous Silk. If you guys have been watching my videos for pretty much any amount of time, you know that I love this product. I am not sure exactly what shade I use because I am most likely to have mixed them together. I believe I probably use somewhere between a 5.2, and 5.75. I use those the most, and I'm constantly using like a pump to a pump and a half, 2 pumps for my clients. And I just kind of mix the shades together until I get the concoction that I'm looking for that matches their skin tone the best. I like to apply it with that concealer brush, and then I like to blend it out and apply it, I guess, all over her face with that Mario brush. It's just like the perfect amount of dense and fluffy. And I just do like those like tap pushes. I don't know how else to explain it. It's just like a tap and a push. Going in now with my NARS Cream Laguna bronzer. I'm going right under the highest point of her cheekbone and right at her hairline to start. And I will now go in and do my little tap pushes to blend that, go a little bit further towards the middle of her face, but not much. We're just creating a slight shadow to make her cheekbones pop. And also, who doesn't like looking a little sun-kissed? So we love a bronzy look too. I use the bronzer all around her hairline as well, and I will even take it a little on the ears into the jawline, just creating those shadows and also giving her that bronzy, sun-kissed look. I don't know how people get away with not bronzing their forehead when they do their cheeks. However, in this video, it kind of looks like I did it. I'm just kidding. But maybe not. Another Patrick Ta. I love Patrick Ta's duos. I'm using the Not Too Much Cream Blush Powder Blush Duo. I love it. It's not too much. It's actually exactly the name of the color. It's perfect. And I have been using it. I used it a lot, you can tell in the video, and I kind of put it away for a little bit. And I'm using it a lot again. When people just don't love like that blush blindness look and they're almost afraid of that, this is the perfect thing to use. It's not going to stand out. It's not going to make them feel like they have too much on. It's just the perfect amount. It's just not too much. Adding a little bit on the nose because we're going for that little like bronzy sun-kissed look. Natural, natural glam, and going over it with powder. I'm going on top of everywhere that I just went with the cream that you just watched me do. Do everything again with a fluffier brush with the powder. I am spraying with Iconic London's Glow Set Spray. It's so good, and literally, I feel like it melts the makeup together and gives just like a beautiful dewy look. And it's very wet when it's applied, but it dries perfectly. And I would recommend for long-lasting purposes to spray something else for a setting spray, but I don't want to not have the Iconic London spray in my kit. It's just so good. Adding a little bit of powder under the eyes, I used my Laura Mercier loose powder, translucent. Of course, I use the Anastasia Brow Wiz pencils. I'm using the color taupe on our pretty prom girly. We are just doing a little bit fuller of a brow, nothing too much, because she doesn't wear makeup all the time, so we're not going to change the brows. That's one tip I would recommend. If someone doesn't normally wear makeup, changing their brows could freak them out. When I'm doing brows, I like to create a line from the starting point of the brow up to where it starts getting fuller. And then from there, I do my little brush-like strokes with the pencil going up like hairs from that line you created and using that other side of the brush that has the spoolie end to buff it out and make it truly look just like it's fuller brow, not that it's filled in with a crayon. putting some lashes on her. We're doing a more on the natural side of lash. It's a little bit more than natural. I believe I did a 421 Ardell, 420 maybe. We went light. I knew she didn't love being tight lined. Her eyes are a little bit more on the sensitive side, so we did a lighter lash. We did end up having to go back in later, you'll see, to get that darker lash line. And this is the One Size setting spray. And like I said earlier with the iconic London, I like to spray something else for longevity, and she was going to the Houston rodeo after, so we needed to really lock in her makeup, and the One Size does the trick. I used Pillow Talk. You guys know I love my Charlotte Tilbury lip colors, and I of course had to find the right shade for her. It wasn't too much, but just enough. Pillow Talk always is the answer, I think. They also have Pillow Talk Medium, Pillow Talk Fair, Pillow Talk Dark or Deep or something. Anyways, so lots of options with the Pillow Talk. I'm using the liner all over her lips. This just makes the color last all day. Like, the fade is beautiful. If you don't have something to reapply with, it doesn't look like you just have like dark purple lines on the outside of your lips whenever you color the Pillow Talk all the way in. It just like fades gradually, super nice. Cleaning up where I messed up a little bit. Oops. And a little bit of the gloss on top to make it come together. I use the Fenty Fussy for the gloss. It's just the perfect pinky shimmer shade. It's just really beautiful. Mascara to tie the natural lashes with the fake lashes that we put on. Absolute must. And for wedding days, it has to be waterproof. Wow, just looking at her look right here, the lashes just pulled everything together. She went from looking very young to automatically a couple of years older, I feel like, with the lashes. Here, I'm just cleaning up a little bit under her eyes where I had a little bit more fallout and a little bit of mascara. So going back in with the concealer and a little bit of powder on top. Okay, what are you thinking for your hair?
I'm thinking like if I were to put it up, like
Okay.
something like that.
Like big braids with a ponytail.
But also my hair is like thin, so I don't even know if it would like look that good. But I also like I haven't decided if I want it up or down.
Okay, I think that the pony wouldn't be as long and full.
Yeah.
But I feel like we could still get bigger braids. They're just not gonna be that big. And then if you went down, would you want it all down or half up, half down?
Maybe like down, but then like something like cute, like
A cute little half up.
Yeah.
Okay.
But like still like, because I like having like a half up, but then like from the front, like it just looks like my hair's down.
Yeah. Okay.
Like I hate like it being like this almost, like it being like tight in the front.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I know what you mean. Okay, and so no updos though, not completely up.
I think I'm gonna like stay safe and do a half up.
Okay.
Because I just don't want to like hate it on prom.
Okay, that sounds good. So we actually took a turn here when her mom stepped in. We had discussed maybe trying the updo today while they were in for the trial run, and that's what we did. So now I am shifting and I'm going to section the hair and start teasing and curling for a high bun. I am going to tease this whole section like so and use my 1-inch curling iron to create some curly texture. Nothing too much, and there's no need to spend too much time on curling. As long as everything does get properly prepped with a curl and some texture, we will get the end result that we want. Spraying lightly with the Kinder 25 on top and moving on to the next section. Doing the exact same thing here. I'm going to section her hair out. So I have about 3 sections I think that I'm going to be working with, maybe 4. Just so I get everything exactly how I want with the tease. That's the most important part. Used a little bit of a texture spray and then I tease. Notice how I'm not like packing it super tightly. I'm just feathering that tease to give that nice voluminous, not just right at the root, but actually like 3 inches probably of hair is volume. And then going back one more time over this section with a 1-inch curling iron as well. Spray with that Kinder 25. I am going to brush the curls out just a little bit here so they're not too curly. You guessed it. One more time, going over this section with some texture spray, teasing in 3 different sections, and curling exactly how I have been doing. Working on this last section here, making sure I'm teasing and then the smoothing the top with my comb is very important. We don't want the messiness of the tease to show through at all, especially on this top layer. Would recommend if you are a messy teaser, then you should smooth it out on every section. My tease is really not that messy as you saw going up, but yeah, the top section, always just smooth it out. I come to the front, make sure that the volume is symmetrical on every side, that I'm loving how it looks as I go. This will definitely solve the problem of getting completely done with the hairstyle, going to the front and saying, oh my gosh, there's like a lot more volume on one side than the other, and I couldn't tell from the back. So save yourself, go to the front, check in on how it's looking from the front. The front is the most important part. The back they don't see. They see it once, they think it looks beautiful. They're gonna pass by the mirror 100 times throughout the day, and they're gonna look at themselves, and if they don't like how they look from the front, they're not gonna like the hairstyle. So make sure they like how they look from the front. Make sure you like how they look from the front. So one last time, 1-inch curling iron all over the section, just creating like a few bends to get some texture to her hair to make pretty dimension and not so difficult to manipulate while I'm actually working on the updo. Right here, I'm going to start pinning the crown section. So this is creating the base. This is creating the volume, exactly how I want it to look from the front. It's just holding everything in place at this point. So I am using a few bobby pins, and I am not trying to hide them because I know that the bun is going to cover it. So that's one of the beauties of a high bun, is you don't have to hide the bobby pins at the beginning of this crown section like you do with a low bun, even a mid bun. So that's pretty cool. Coming back to the front, as you see again, making sure that I like how it looks from the front. Slowly working the sides of the hair back into the style itself, the updo that it will become. Creating, you can't see with my hand, but I'm using my fingers to create a swoopy section. So you will see it on this next side. I just want it to be covering her ear, romantically swept back, just soft and nothing too tight, because that was something that she was worried about. Now on this side, you will kind of be able to see exactly what I'm doing. I am brushing through that tease with my fingertips that isn't allowing me to manipulate the hair, but you'll also see me using my fingers to use that swoopy motion to cover the ears, and I'm pinning it into place. Checking in from the front. I'm loving how it's looking, perfectly placing and spraying once I'm happy. My face right there did not look happy though. That's funny. All right, let's get this into an updo. So I'm taking everything but the very bottom layer because I want to create a very swoopy, romantic, loose look as requested. And so I'm leaving that bottom layer out so I can get that like kind of just like swept up into the bun look. But taking the rest of the hair, and I do have an elastic in my hand, you'll be able to see I'm going to use an elastic hair tie to gather the hair at the top. I'm putting it in a pony, and this is just gonna act as like a good base. I do need to bobby pin it so that way it doesn't get any more saggy. I also can use the bungee elastic trick like I'm doing so. So you take one bobby pin on one side of the elastic and then the other bobby pin on the other side of the elastic, and you use it, and you kind of like bungee it to the hair. Look how much volume it has. It's not sagging at all anymore. I'm going to tease the ponytail just to give it a little bit more umph before I start the updo. This is where I start detailing the updo. I'm taking pieces of hair and doing a twist kind of wrap around to create that bun shape. And with that curl that we have, it adds the texture to avoid it looking like a ballerina bun. When I'm working, I like to do kind of like a cross with the hair. So if it's on the left side, my left, I'm crossing that hair over to the right as much as I can. And I do tend to work in a counterclockwise manner when I'm working on updos. I'm not exactly sure why, it just feels the most natural to me. Checking back in at the front, perfectly placing each hair to make sure that it always is looking good and like it's going in the right direction. I never wanted to get to like a super crazy point because that can be scary for me and the client. I want to keep it textured but not messy, so that's what I'm working on right now, just perfectly placing each hair, twisting it around without pulling it apart too much. It's just like the perfect balance of undone done. I feel like our fingertips are the best styling tool. I love manipulating the hair just with my fingertips and hairspray. I just feel like it's magical. But it wouldn't be possible without curling it first unless they have like the best hair ever. When I'm doing that sort of thing, using my fingertips only to style the hair, it just makes me feel like back in the very olden days, when there was no heat, no hairspray, it was just those very magnificent curls and braids. I mean, that was true artistry. I mean, it's still true artistry with what we have today, but the hairstyles that you were able to create without all the tools we have today, insane. At this point, you can see the bun is really coming together. You really can see the bun shape even from the back. If you were at the front, you would see that it looks perfect actually at this point. I'm just adding more hair to cover the back, finish the bun from the back, and make it a little bit fuller. And obviously, I can't just leave hairs out. Straightening the hair on the very bottom layer is crucial to make your style go from being a professional style to a master in your craft style, in my opinion, because everyone can make a not everyone, but all the professionals that you're paying to do hair and makeup are obviously doing a beautiful job in their updos, but these little details of straightening out like those, the very top layer whenever there's a kink kind of in the crown area, or there's a wave in the very back of this swoopy section that's supposed to look undone done. It just could be perfected, and it does take your style to the next level when you straighten out those baby hairs, including the ones by the ears. When people don't do that, it's very strange to me because I see it and I'm like, it's such a simple thing to elevate your styling. And hopefully now you can see what I mean by that like swoopy, undone done look. Those bottom pieces aren't like tightly pulled up into the bun. I'm using those final pieces from that bottom section that I did pin up to detail the rest of the bun and cover the elastics that are showing or any bobby pins that are showing. I'm okay with a few pieces hanging out because it looks purposefully undone. Too many can look messy, in my opinion. Messy is a look itself, but we weren't going for that. We were just going for something soft and loose, romantic, beautiful, and I think it's giving that. I am using a lighter Kenra, the Kenra 13 here. This is just a lighter version of the 25 in my opinion. So it won't be as crunchy, if you will, but it's still giving a nice hold while I'm placing things before I do the final Kenra 25. You're not moving for the rest of the day hairspray. As I finish the style, working on the front pieces, I am making sure that everything is just perfect. I'm re-teasing, I'm re-curling, I'm using my fingertips to smooth out the curl, perfectly place each hair, and very delicately moving the hair. And then I do that money motion, just kind of add the fullness, get the hairspray between each hair strand to make it last all night rather than just doing like a quick top spray. It makes a huge difference. It's going to just hold better. It's going to look better and fuller. And here's the grand reveal. She looks so beautiful. And look how the front looks. So good. Like she loves how she looks from the front, and she's gonna love it all day and all night, and she hasn't even looked at the back yet. And it's time for the reveal. Okay.
Oh wow. It actually does look good. And her makeup looks good too. It does, it looks really good.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
It's a courtesy of this.
Thanks guys for watching. See you next time.